mentality left with him that day, you know? Just a little.
Yeah, he's slipped a little bit mentally.
All right, guys. Well, because this is such a short episode, I'm afraid I have a little bit of bad news. There will be no beer break tonight, but don't worry. It's only because we're saving the good stuff for our live episode on Wednesday. But either way, we're going to get a refill right now, and we'll be back right after this.
And we're back. He goes on to tell her all the other horrible shit that Denna did with the Agile. And he tells her that it still hurts when he lays down or if she hugs him too hard. Which, thanks for fucking telling me. I wouldn't have hugged you so hard.
Yeah, I got broken bones, so next time we hug, just keep that in mind.
Why the fuck didn't you say something, dude? Also, that the Agile can totally kill somebody with one touch. Which, useful. Good to know.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you would say that before you even let her touch it. Like, hey, just so you know, this can kill you. Just be aware. Shouldn't if you're just touching it, but like also that's possible. So be prepared for that, just in case.
All the terms and conditions that you should tell somebody before they touch something along those lines.
He just takes the scroll and it goes like 30 feet down. Like, okay, you're going to have to sign here. Sign here. Does it hurt? Oh, yes, it's going to hurt a lot. Sign here and initial there. Thanks.
He details the way that Denna had tortured him, hanging from the ceiling, going in on him the whole day, and that's what the collar represents to him. It doesn't matter what anybody says. That's not going to change. He would rather die than wear one again.
Yeah. Mind is made up. He's had a horrible experience, and he's fully justified in saying, nope, not putting another collar on.
Thanks, no thanks, bye!
Yeah.
Kaylin sat for a minute, wrapped up in sadness for him, and then instead of revisiting this shit tomorrow or another day with the trauma victim that Richard is at this point, which we know he is, she decides to push and ask him for more info on his relationship with this bitch and make him not only relive some of it, but relive what probably was the worst of it. I mean, at least from her point of view, if you were asking somebody about their time with their kidnapper and you knew all this stuff happened, I feel like you wouldn't push them. I'd be like, so, did they do the thing with you, though?
You guys did it, though, right? It says Kaylin promised herself she wasn't going to ask. She promised she wasn't going to ask this, but oh, what the hell, I'm going to go ahead and ask this. And then the second she does, she immediately wishes she could take it back. Yeah. But it's out there now. She just folded right over. Like, no, I'm not going to bring it up. It's not great. So we'll just leave that there. No, she's going to poke at it.
Yeah, she had absolutely no self-control when it came to that. Not even a little bit. So here Kaylin tells Richard that she called the Kandar because Demon told her Denna took him as her mate and that he was dead at that point.
Right. That's why she flew into the blood rage.
And it has the intended result because Richard's immediately like, dude, I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it.
Are those berries? No. Put those down.
We don't need to call this scary lightning. It's okay. It's okay. I did not want to touch her like that. Okay.
Before every argument, he's going to be looking at the sky like, how mad is she? Okay.
Well, I feel like it's true that he was forced. He was kidnapped. He was brainwashed. By the end there, I feel like he's leaving a little, like, obviously he still cares for this woman a whole lot, and he wasn't exactly, like, beating her off with a stick at the end. So I feel like him being like, I was forced, is a little bit of a...
I didn't like none of it, baby, none of it.
It was all terrible. Hated it. She was ugly.
Did that super cool thing with her tongue, and it was awful.
She was hideous, I promise. Kaylin calls her evil, and Richard's like, you fucking take that back. She was not evil. Let me explain all the ways she was not evil.
Yeah, he, like, tells her entire life story, and then he uses what happened to her to talk shit about magic again.
Yeah.
Because, like, look, she's taken from her parents and then trained and raped and basically enslaved and then taught how to do this to other people. She had to kill her parents. He goes, I come along, I turn the blade white, and I kill her at the end of it. Like, that was her whole life.
Yeah.
It was craziness and pain, and then she died. And so, fuck magic.
And I mean, I get it, but he also has a serious case of Stockholm Syndrome here.
Oh, yeah.
There is some stuff that should be sorted through with some people.
Couple pieces of that partition might still be in place. You're just gonna shake them loose. It'll stop.
And he says all she asked him for before she died was that he wear her deal and remember her. And he says it in such a way that it seems like he thinks that he owes it to her. And, okay, this is like sticky though, because we were there. We all understand that Denna went through some shit. She was softer with him, and she didn't take it as hard on him as she could because all reasons, you know? But also, he doesn't owe his abuser shit.
Right.
Like, at all. It's not his fault. And she was also, like, torturing him, so.
Now, is that something to do with the blade turning white? Because it basically means, yeah, you're a piece of shit, but I forgive you. I'm forgiving you. I'm absolving your wrongdoing as far as, like, my knowledge. Okay, I'm going to remember that you did that forever, but you're forgiven. I'm not going to hold it against you anymore. So does that mean that when she requested that after he turned the blade white, I mean, technically she did it before, but, like, does that mean that not that he owes her anything, but would he be obliged to take that request?
I think you're probably right. I think that's probably where that's coming from. I think that somebody with a way more degrees than I have needs to sort through that shit with him. He needs to go to therapy for a really long time.
Oh, yeah.
Because I don't fucking know.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll stick with you. And also, I just like to point out right here that when Kaylin's sister, Denny, died, she told Kaylin the exact same thing.
To wear the necklace?
Take this and remember me. I'm sorry, that stuck out to me immediately, and I was like, yes, that's 10 points for the home team. Mm-hmm.
See, that's why we're doing this.
No, well, they both have an emotional attachment to somebody who's dead now, who has bid them the same request. They both have taken that responsibility on, and, like, they have that in common. It's a real fucked up thing to have in common, but that's just bringing them even closer together, and it works for me. I like it.
Yeah. I forgot about Kaylin's necklace collection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they both have quite a few. They look like bikers.
Yeah.
Hey, no offense, we are bikers, so.
It's all the jewelry.
Yeah. No, it's hardware.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. It's hardware.
Nuts and bolts and all that. So, Caitlin's feeling a lot of feels at this point. She hates Denna for hurting Richard. She's jealous that she had him in that way, like every good psycho girlfriend is about the ex. And she's weirdly sad for her, because, like, yeah, her life did suck. But she asks Richard how he wasn't broken through all that, because that's obviously what they were trying to fucking do. How did you survive all that? And he's like, yeah, the partition thing. That's what I did. I locked me away in a little box and just let them do what they will.
Yeah, I mean, you can have my body, but you can't have my mind. Or at least most of my mind.
Yeah. This is what made Dark and Raw tell him that he had the gift in the last book. He told him he partitioned it away. It was the first time that he heard the word partitioned, is when Darkin was like, dude, you did a cool thing. Good for you.
Yeah.
Richard says in some ways he thinks that his time with Denna wasn't all bad, because what he learned through all that shit is helping him get through this now. And it might help him, like, work his way around it, like a Rubik's Cube.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's held him upright. Literally let him be able to stand. When the pain is so bad, he wouldn't even be able to handle that if it weren't for Denna.
Which, again, I don't think is probably that good of a thing.
No, I'm pretty sure that means there's some severe damage in there somewhere. You're not supposed to be able to do that. That's why it hurts.
Yeah, like, if you break a bone or, like, get a severe wound in your leg and then...
Several ribs repeatedly.
And then they, like, shoot you up with morphine, you're not supposed to just keep pushing.
No.
through that because, can't feel it now. It's fine.
No, that's not a very good thing to do.
We're going to have to keep an eye out for severe brain damage throughout the rest of the series.
For real.
Because it's going to be there somewhere.
The doctor would be like, well, didn't you even lay down? What were you doing?
What were you even?
I tell him bed rest. He goes hiking. What the fuck?
Those leaves were supposed to help you sleep, motherfucker.
Yeah.
So as they lay down, his headache is roaring, and Richard reminds her, again, no matter what, he's not putting that fucking collar on. But now Kaylin finally understands why.
Yeah, now she has the information of what actually went down and where Richard's mental state is at right now, and she got a little taste of the pain that he was suffering while he was away.
Yeah, really, what this chapter has established is that Richard is really not okay. Richard went through a lot last book.
Yeah.
And whether he presents normal and fine, he has a lot of underlying trauma that he has not sifted through.
Right.
And he really needs a couple weeks off from dealing with new trauma. But I don't think he's going to get that.
Yeah, I mean, when these books came out, they were about a year separated, I believe, something like that. And us reading them one to the next, there's literally a gap of a couple of days before we start chapter 1 of the next book. So you kind of forget that it really is a short time span. Yeah. And it hadn't been a year. And so Richard, like, oh yeah, my ribs are still a little sore, isn't just a little deal. He's really, really injured. And there's no reprieve in between the books. This happened literally piggyback to the last book ending. So dude needs to sit down. Chase, he just needs to sit the fuck down for a minute.
He probably could have slept for like 4 days.
Oh yeah, easy. I guess what I wanted to say is Richard is the ultimate hero. That's his role in these books. He is the one. You know what I mean? And he is always strong. He's always giving 130% because he has to, but he wants to as well. But there is underlying issues. He's not perfect. He's just doing his best because that's what's expected and that's what he wants to do. But it's all twisted up on the insides, and I feel like that's humanity. Yeah. And that's what makes Richard so likable as a hero. He's not perfect. Even though he's the golden boy, he's not perfect.
Yeah, he's perfectly imperfect.
Mm-hmm. Oh, but that hair. Forget it.
That's why he runs his fingers through it so much.
Yeah. Well, that is the end of this chapter, you guys. You know, I know it was a very short one. It was literally 15 minutes long in the book, but I feel like we got out of it what we needed to. So I would like to thank you guys all for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, you can let us know at podcastatt@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook or Instagram. You can find us on Patreon. We're out there in the world. We're there. Just look, we're out there.
Yeah, search it out. You'll figure it out.
We'll see you guys real soon.
Bye.